There we go. Boom. We are in. We are live and full effect. Yes, it is us. That young melanated council.
Young. Oh, yes, I'm actually there.
Let's see. We live. We go live Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and wherever else you're at in the world, time zone, find us there. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, and enjoy the show. We already had Mindful Skeptics in the house. Woo, woo.
Hey, right at the start. Awesome.
Yeah. Yay.
Yeah, Mindful Skeptics.
As always,
It's good to see you. It's always good to see you, sir. Always good to see you.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm forgetting anything else, no, I'm not forgetting anything else. However, what we are going to do, what we like to do, is I'm going to hand it over to my lovely host somewhere over here. Hold on. Yeah.
I've got this mirror image thing down.
I know, it's hard. I feel like I've gotten used to it.
Yeah,
like,
this young lady right over here, she's going to introduce our topic for tonight. So you don't equal L, take it away.
So this episode, The Art of Projection, random name. I thought it sounded cool. So projection, like whenever you hear the term, it's usually someone saying like, oh, well, if he's accusing you of cheating, then he must be cheating. And I've been thinking about, the word projection a lot lately. And I always thought that was sort of weird. It's like, why would you start saying things that you are also doing? Or why would you start, why would you accuse somebody of something that you're guilty of doing and things like that? So I always thought that was a little bit bizarre. But then I started to realize how I project things and how others may project things as well. So what I wanted to get into is just like different forms of projection. So one form that I noticed, and it's going to sound a little silly, is like when I was getting my bathrooms done. I don't know if I've shared this on the stream yet, but like when I was getting my bathrooms done like a year ago, I've had this shitty bathroom layout since I moved in. And I was just like, whatever with it. It's a bathroom. It does what it needs to do. But when I was getting it done, I was trying to conceptualize how I want it to look. And I couldn't really conceptualize it outside of the perimeter of what I always knew. So I have vaulted ceilings in my bedroom and bathroom. So hey Mish.
Hey yo.
Hey. So like my shower, like the walls go, kind of high, but the tile didn't go all the way to the ceiling or anything. So like I'm 5'7", the tile probably went up to maybe like 6 foot and there was a wall above it. And, when I was talking to my contractor, who's like a friend of the family, I was like, yeah, I just want it to go up to here. And he said, how come you don't want it to go all the way up to the ceiling, the tile? And I was about to say, because you can't do that. But I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I never done a bathroom. I just didn't know that was something that you could do. But I was so quick to almost just be like, oh, you can't do that. But I've seen pictures of, tile going to ceilings. So I was looking at pictures of bathrooms for like a really long time. But it was just weird because I guess I just didn't think something like that I could have. Mm. So I asked him, I was like, you can do that? And he's like, yeah, why not? I was like, yeah, I guess so. So that's how I got my tiles up.
Nice.
But because I would just see, the tiles in my bathroom just, like 7 feet high or 6 feet high or whatever for years, I guess I just thought that was just how it is. I never bothered to really question it. I never really bothered to, try to think outside the lines because that's just not really my wheelhouse of, like, so that was just like one way I was sort of like projecting or about to project something that I just legitimately didn't know when I was about to say, like, you can't do that. It's like, what do I know? Another form of projection that that I recently learned about from my therapist is something called like perceived projection. And I'm sure a lot of you will probably relate to this. Like, does one of your parents, like your mom, like buy you things that doesn't suit you? Like, it's, like they might buy you a shirt that you would never be caught dead wearing, or they would be like, oh, this will look so great on you, when it's like, this isn't my style at all. This doesn't match me, my personality, things that I like this isn't me at all. But so whenever my mom would buy me things, like, it would always be like a hit or a miss. Mostly misses. I doubt she's watching this, but and it took me years to realize that the things that she would buy me would be like kind of what she would buy herself. Like this always seemed to be like more her style, like a shirt, like a blouse, or like she bought me like some Crocs flip-flops the other day, and I was just like, yeah, these are whatever, like I'll wear them. But like, it almost seems like it's just coming out of left field as to where she's getting the like what it is that I like. And she was living with me for 2.5 years. She actually moved out a few months ago finally. And you'd think for like living with me for so long, you'd probably get an idea of what I like, what I like to wear, but she just didn't. She couldn't really figure it out. But it turns out that she was buying things for me that she would buy for herself, because that's like her way of expressing to me that, like, I don't know how to word it exactly, but it's like, it's almost like she's giving me a piece of herself. And because I'm rejecting it, she'd get really upset whenever I'd be like, oh, I don't really like it. She'd be like, oh, you're so weird. It's like, how come you don't like this? This will look great. It's like, you don't like this. Is like, she would like get very upset, and I never quite understood why. But it turns out, I mean, I don't want to like psychoanalyze her on the off chance that she happens to be watching this, but go talk to my therapist, mom. But it's because like she's like kind of extending a piece of herself to me through like the gift. It's like, hey, you like this? Like we're friends, right? Like we're good, right? I like this. You should like this too. If you don't like this, then I guess that makes me weird. But I'm not the weird one. You're the weird one. So it's weird. It's a little silly. I don't know if any of you guys have, like, anybody in the comments, or you, Toby, if you ever been in a situation like that where like a family member or I don't know, maybe a friend would get you something and it's like, where do they think I like this from at all? But
I'm not quite sure if I know it's like a common trope, common theme. Oh, someone gets you a gift and it doesn't really suit you at all. Maybe like you said, it's something that they would get themselves. It's hard to say. Because like, I don't know, I got random gifts, and typically like you might get like a tie, like especially from my mom. It's like, okay, tie, socks, and of course that for her would not be something she would wear. So that is something where she was trying to think about what I want and get a proper gift. I can't even remember all the gifts that my brother or sisters have gotten. And hopefully I haven't quite gotten something where I was like assuming that they want something and it's not something they want. But the idea makes perfect sense. Like, I completely understand. And that's actually a pretty good example. And I think it's an interesting, like, kind of deep kind of part where it's like you're giving a part of yourself as this gift. And so then the rejection of that becomes like a rejection of you. And in that case, that is a really good idea. That is a really good example of projection, because you've literally projected yourself into that thing. Like you projected yourself onto them, first of all, for maybe thinking that they want this gift that you want, but then also you've kind of projected yourself into this inanimate object, and now it's like the feelings that they have about it will be with the feelings they have about you.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of like that, and also, I mean, according to my therapist, I take no responsibility for this. Yeah, no. I'm glad that I'm not the only one. Maybe they want you to remember them through. I mean, how can I forget my mom? Like, but I get it. I get it. You know, my mom is a massive gift giver too, and I'm not really like the biggest gift receiver. So, yeah, like I do. I guess I love gifts when you definitely put in thought like about me for who I am. Yeah, no, I feel you, Kitty. I feel the exact same way. I never really felt super like feminine or girly either. Oddly enough, I felt like my dad kind of knew me pretty well because like occasionally he would like give me action figures or like, you know, like if he was like fixing my car or something, he would like tell me and you know and kind of like, sort of explain things to me sometimes. So I felt like he always knew I was more of like a technical kind of person and wasn't like super girly. But my mom definitely wanted to fit me more into like the stereotypical like girly feminine self, and that was a lot, you know, trying to figure myself out. It's like, oh, is there something wrong with me? You know, like, it's like because I don't want to wear makeup to sit around the house and take selfies. But,
Hey,
no offense to anyone who does. Like, if that's your shit, that's your shit. I'm not, you know, saying anything about that. Like, I'm not bad mouthing it at all. That's just not my cup of tea personally. I dated a holistic hottie. Said I dated a narcissist over the summer. Everything was a protect. Oh hell yeah, narcissists definitely do that. Like, like my father, oddly enough, was a narcissist. Definitely more so like, well, I guess like to everyone, but more so towards my mom. I do think like my dad and I are probably just similar because we're both technical people. I'm just hopefully not crazy or a narcissist. Anyway.
man.
Like, I don't think so. They usually say you're not a narcissist if you ever question if you're a narcissist. I was like, I hope not. Like, I empathize with people. I tend to know what they like. Even if I don't like it, I do. But that's something I'll maybe find out in therapy one day. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I could definitely see that because even if I were to have gone through with my initial reaction to like the tile in the bathroom, like I probably would have just had like some shit job in my bathroom because it's like, oh, I know what's best. It's like when I didn't know anything about this at all. I was like, let me ask the expert because what? It's like I don't know. Let me see. I'm glad that your brother saw you for you, though, Kitty. That's always awesome. That's always great to, especially family.
Yeah.
Agreed. What was I gonna say? Sometimes I think projection can also be seen a lot through, like, job, like in work, like especially like if a boss is hiring, I don't know, like a director or a manager or something. Sometimes they want someone who looks the part because they've sort of conjured up this picture in their head and they don't want to steer away from it. And sometimes like the picture of what the person looks like kind of trumps the actual expertise of the person. And that happens a lot. One of my friends was telling me the other day how people tend to vote for people who look like CEOs, and CEOs tend to have like square heads, no neck, and like have like a particular kind of look. And I mean that it's pretty much like what Ron DeSantis looks like, or Donald Trump. They just have like this look that looks like a CEO type, even though everybody hates their boss. I mean, like it's sort of in a sort of sense. I don't. I like my manager. I'm not just saying that because I'm live, but I think it's cool. But like, yeah, and white. Yeah, mindful skiff. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Like square head, no neck, and white man. That's a really important distinction. So I feel like when people are picking somebody that looks like a leader, or they tend to go with what's already worked, even though what's already worked is clearly trash. So you got to definitely kind of look outside of that. There was, I watched like random ass TV shows. Like there was this one show I was watching called The Bold Type. I don't know why it sucked me in. I don't know. I'm a sucker for hot guys. So there was an episode.
Hey, at least you're being honest about it.
Yeah. So it was like the last episode. So spoiler alert to anyone who's gonna watch it. Oddly enough, like one of the main characters is like Steve Carell's, like in The Office. What was his name in The Office? Michael Scott. His like that blonde girlfriend chick who was kind of mean.
Oh wait, Michael's girlfriend
from The Office. Anyway, like the actress is in the show. She's like one of the main characters, but in The Office, she was very mean, and like, but in the Bold Type, she was actually very, very nice, and she was like an amazing boss. Probably Angela. I think that was her name. I think
Angela was, yeah, she was
blonde, kind of like mean, a little bit cutthroat.
Yeah, probably
very hilarious. But in the show, the Bold Type. No, Angela. Yeah, Angela is Dwight's girlfriend. No, Michael Scott. Scott.
Also, Jan. I was thinking Jan too. She was the one who was like the manager who was really strict.
It was probably Jan. That might be. Yeah, no, this was Michael Scott's girl. Anyway, the actress is in the show, the Bold Type. Just a random tidbit. And like they're trying to find someone to replace her, because like she runs like what was it again? Like a magazine company, like online and in paper. And she was prepping like this one chick who was kind of like the main character almost of the show. Like there were like three main girls, but I think the brunette was like the main character. And she was kind of prepping her to like take over for her after she retired. But they ended up going with the black chick who was a rebel, like she worked at the company, and then like she ended up getting fired for like exposing somebody on the board member who was like anti-gay, and so they ended up hiring her at the very end, because like why continue the cycle of hiring people that like that fit the look, that that's someone that you can see as taking over, because you see yourself in them, when in order to enact change, you have to stop like projecting yourself onto somebody in order to continue the same exact lineage of the company. So they end up going with the black chick because she was just completely different, but was definitely moving, fighting for change and creating change in a very creative and different way. It was a little like hokey and corny and like typical like liberal, like I want to say like too liberal, where I feel like it's just like stuffing typical like liberalism, like feminist, like I don't know, progressive, far left leaning shit, which I agree with, like feminism and like gay rights and things like that. But I do have to hand it to them because that was it was done kind of weird in the show, I feel, but the overall message was I feel really, really good.
Nice.
What was the name of this? So the bull. Sorry.
The bold type, like in font.
Oh, the bold type.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is a random name. So I'm like, were they really like? Oh yeah, I guess they were bold. Now that I think about it.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Sometimes the name of the show is exactly what the show is about. Sometimes.
Yeah.
And placating. Let's see. Is that a response to what Chad said? Mindful.
Can you bring up what Chad said?
Okay, so this is what Chad said earlier.
So hi, Chad. I see him on Twitter all the time, so it's kind of nice to.
Hey.
Hey.
Okay, and then that's the clarification of what he said.
Oh, that's true.
And
That
that's
makes
the question.
Was that referring to? Is the placating referring to what Chad had said, or is this something that was just said out loud? Yes, mindful skeptic.
Oh, right, like something that I said.
Right.
I'm not even.
But yes, I do.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
There we
Okay,
go.
so you're kind of trying to, to maybe placate the audience.
Yeah, that's kind of what the show was. I mean, but they got me. Like throw a ton of hot men on the show, and I'll find depth to the show as I just conveyed. So
Get your eye candy, and eventually it'll feed your soul too.
of course, yeah, that's why my dating life is so perfect.
Mm.
I mean, hot guys with six packs do have depth, don't they? Don't they? Please.
And their abs.
I don't know. I can't say. I don't have a 6-pack yet.
I had something at some point, but
Keep talking. If you keep talking, it'll come back to you.
I'll come back. Oh no.
Yeah. So what was I talking about when you came up with a thought?
Oh wait, what I just said right now? Oh, I meant that I had I'm sorry. I meant that I had some kind of abs at some point in my life. Like I had something at some point, but unfortunately those days seem to have gone. It wasn't like ripped, but someone noticed that, like, oh yeah, there's some kind of abs there, and I don't know about that now. looking a little shaky over there, down there. Maybe I'm projecting somehow. No. Wow.
I mean, the soul part is in the second book. I just haven't opened it yet.
I'm done.
I have it. I just haven't opened it yet.
Yes, there we go. That's funny. That's funny. And backtracking just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I know, Elle, you were talking about how when people, typically family members, they give a gift, whereas it may be something that you may not like, but they do.
Yeah.
And they try to make it like a gift for you in a weird way. Excuse me. Like, I know family members that have tried that, and it's like, I appreciate it. Like, thank you. It's like, but at the same time, it's not what I was expecting. But then again, there are some times where somebody has asked me like, "Hey, what do you like?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay, I like this, like this, like this. Like, I really don't like this. So if you can stay away from that as much as possible, great." And they actually gave me a really good gift. So like, cool. Like, this was actually something that I actually wasn't expecting to get, but I'm going to cherish it because, you know, to me, it was a thought that counts, but it also lines up with what I liked. So it's like
Mhm.
you knew enough about me to get something that you knew I would like, and that's pretty much a cool thing too in itself. So I know, bless her heart, my mother, she can be a bit narcissistic. Hopefully she does not watch this, and if so, oh well.
Okay.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, oh well. No, because actually it was a few years ago. It was me, her, my sister-in-law, and of course the missus. We were all sitting around drinking coffee and we were talking, and it almost felt as though she couldn't say no wrong, and that kind of looked like, nah, that was wrong. Like that was dead wrong. And she kind of looked at me like, really? Like, yeah. And my sister-in-law, she's like, yeah, like that was a very narcissistic statement. And then she
Mm.
looked at me like, so does it make me a narcissist? I'm like, well, if the shoe fits, yeah, it is. And she just went around the table asking, like, yeah, yeah. I mean, you got three guesses to your one no. I mean, obviously, we're not crazy, but you know, majority rules. So yeah. And she's like, I didn't think about it like that. I'm like, yeah, but I mean, sometimes the stuff that you say is like you don't think about it until it's like too late, and you can't really backtrack it. So it's like, yeah, like come on, you gotta get just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little time to yourself, and to think about the wording and the choice of words we have. You know, it could go a different.
Mhm.
So every now and then, I have to let her know, like, Mom, you're being worrisome. And she's like, I'm not being worrisome. Like, you being worrisome. And then she'll call like two other people and say that I call her being worrisome. They're kind of like, yeah, you're being worrisome. Like, I'm not tripping. I've known you for 32, 33 years of my life. So, like, yeah, you can be just a little bit. But, anyways, I say all of that to say this, that love her to Reese's Pieces, but at the same time, it's like, come on. You can't be doing this and doing that. And even then, every now and then, when she brings up my brother and whatnot, she's like, I wish she could do this. I wish she could do that. I'm like, why don't you just let the man live? Like
Yeah.
he's grown. He has his own kids. He has a whole family, a whole entire family that he's raising. It's like, let him do what he has to do, and wish for the best. It's like nobody's perfect. Nobody can be perfect, and even if we were perfect, we still gonna fail at the end of the day. So it's like, you know, let the man live. You even have to tell her that, like, Mom, I'm grown. Like I have my own family. I have a whole family I gotta look out for and watch
Mhm.
over for and protect and make sure they're good. And you can't really say you want this for me, you want that for me. It's like that may not work for me. It may not. Like probably it worked when you were growing up. Sure, great. But now it's like, no, not even close. And even then, I have to make sure that I myself, as a parent, don't do the same thing to my oldest, because I have to recognize, like, you live in a totally different generation, different generation. And the time that you're living in now is like, it's hard and it sucks because
Mhm.
you literally have everything right there in front of your face and you really can't turn away from it, because if you don't catch it in one area, best believe you're going to catch it in a different area. And so just trying to help him navigate life as it's coming at him to make sure he does what he needs to do to make the best choice possible.
Yeah, exactly. Like you gotta definitely meet him where he's at, and you know, like yeah, like what is it that he's doing? What is it that he's not going to do, even though you want him to do these things? If he's not doing these things, then he's not doing these things. Like my mom, like I feel like she has something about like each of us. In fact, I know that. There's just something that she always has to like kind of like nitpick on, and like I don't know if I'm the last of 7, so I have like 3 older brothers and 3 older sisters, and just to have something to just nitpick on and just constantly just like talk about and just like grind into can just be like so annoying. Like with one of my brothers, well, 2 of them technically, but like one specifically, it's like about his weight, and I'm just like, right, yeah, like he's a big guy. Like I'm not going to deny that, but I guarantee you, this isn't news to him about like that. Excuse me, that he should like lose weight or whatever. Like my mom, like weight's like a massive thing with her for whatever reason. Well, anything about your looks and your appearance is a massive thing. Like she doesn't like that, even though like she's okay with me saying shit in front of her or like talking to her or whatever. If I say like fuck, that's like a big thing. And she doesn't like me like cursing a lot anyway, because she always says it doesn't look like me. And like she's been saying that like my whole life. Like, oh, that doesn't, about various things, but cursing sticks out a lot. So she'd be like, oh, it doesn't look like you, it doesn't look like you. You look like this sweet little innocent blah blah blah, this and that. And I'm like, okay. Thanks, I guess, but I'm 30. And even beforehand, if I was like in my 20s, like I'm in my 20s, I'm an adult. But looks is a massive thing with my mom, and like your appearance. Like even if it's just me throwing out the trash 2 days in a row and I'm wearing like it's like, well, the trash is just like, oh, there's like an echo. I think
something from your end, Ron. Sorry, not to. Oh yeah, I kind of had to.
But yeah, like even if I'm just like going to the trash, like I'm in my neighborhood, what am I like stunting for? Like what, I need to dress up to go throw out the trash? Or I understand looking moderately. Shut up, Mark. I understand the undertones of that. Anyway, so yes, and they do too. But yeah, it's just like I'm in my neighborhood. I'm in my my sleepwear, my PJs. I'm throwing out the trash. It doesn't matter if it's the same thing I was wearing yesterday. Like who changes what they wear to sleep every day? I mean, if that's a thing, then please correct me. Then my bad. I just admitted something massively embarrassing live. That I sleep in the same clothes 2 days in a row or more. So.
Same. I don't really. I'm not out here switching out nightgowns, or pajamas for every day of the week. That's not a thing.
Yes. But I don't know, like so, like when she brought that up, or sometimes like my hair would just kind of be hanging, and she feels like a way about it. She has locks as well, so it's not necessarily my locks, but it's just how I have it or how I present it and blah blah blah. And so like looks is just like a massive thing about her, and I feel like it's because like me, her kids, I guess it's like a reflection on her. So if I'm looking some type of way, then then she feels like like she is looking some type of way. Is your mom's expecting your show watching selections? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I understand that's probably like a joke, but it kind of got me thinking low key. No, I don't think so. No. Nah. In the summer though.
I think that might be in reference to the pajama thing.
Oh, I guess like
Oh,
my pajamas is like a big t-shirt and some shorts. Not-
Hey, there you go.
yeah. Once it's summer, I'm not really wearing real pajamas. Maybe light pants, but sometimes, depending on how it is, like especially if you're down there in Florida, like what are pajamas? What are clothes? Clothes? Y'all wear those at night?
I mean, barely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a fact.
But that's bad.
Oh yeah, it's true. Ron's few days in South Florida.
Oh yeah.
They barely wear clothes as it is, anyways. So it's
Right,
like
exactly.
you see what you get.
But everybody is fit and looks nice, so that's a plus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have your winter body, as I'll put it, your all year body. There's no summer. No, not just the summer. You need the Florida body, the South Florida body.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That is not a joke. You know, like I'm doing that. I'm drinking a beer. It's like I gotta look good for my sexy Santa outfit. What are you talking about?
Hey,
Sexy Santa.
there you go.
Yeah, so I saw this comment and some of the others too, where it's like, just in general, the conversation that, I think it ends up a lot with parents or older people who help raise you or help, like, take care of you in some kind of way. They have their expectations for what a young man, lady should be or whatever, or just, it could be in the culture. It could be race, it could be anything, your community, but there's an expectation, and then they project that image of that onto you, and you're not doing that. And like, what was it that I was literally just saying about, like, you have to let them make their own mistakes? Midwestern, I can see it. Listen, that probably helps you keep insulated or something. I don't know. That's
like, I wish that South Florida got like cold sometimes, because like just like the upkeep with everything could be very annoying. It's like, it was nice and cool for the past like couple of weeks. I think it's gonna probably start warming up soon. I don't know. Hopefully not, but it's nice to wear like jeans, for more than a day.
There you go.
It's nice to at least think about long sleeve. Actually, yeah, I wore a long sleeve on Saturday. It was nice.
Nice.
I went to a little party. I wore a long sleeve.
Okay.
Mark, it's not cold, Mark. It's cool. It's like you could still wear like shorts and a t-shirt in this weather. It's not like when you see your breath. No, it's
Wait, what is the temperature out there? Like, okay.
That's nice, Mark. 67.
Are you kidding me? That's warm. Now that's me projecting, but that's warm. 67.
Yeah, 67 is cool too. Anything under 70 degrees. I shared a story on Instagram about how people in Miami act when it's 70 degrees and they put on all their shit. But it's true though, because we never get an opportunity to wear it.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. Like for y'all, it really doesn't get that low. So like, I mean, don't get me wrong. In the 60s, wearing a long sleeve would be comfortable. But I also like wearing a jacket. So sometimes I might actually wear a t-shirt and then a jacket just to have the flexibility. Like, I think I was wearing some long sleeve, but I know it was 68 as a high today, and it was like maybe 64 yesterday. And mind you, it got to like a low of 20 something, like high 20s, low 30s, just earlier. So like over the weekend, and so the fact that it like is 68 today, 64 yesterday, and I'm like, dang, it's warm, and I wasn't even outside to enjoy it, which means I'm never gonna enjoy this warmth again until like next year, April. We'll see how long it continues to stay warm. But once it hits a certain point, you're never going back until April, maybe March if you're lucky.
I mean, I'm going up to Massachusetts in a few weeks. Yes, surprise, surprise. But I mean, hopefully, like I do want to, experience some like. I mean, I hate the cold weather. Like I'll be honest, but it's nice to visit. It's nice to kind of feel. It's nice to actually like take out my jacket and like dust it off. Like,
Dust the thing off.
dust off my boots. I have like some knee-high boots.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, I look cute. I like the fall weather. I like the winter weather. I like the winter garb.
There you go.
Yeah, but you just never get to you never get to wear it here.
Don't worry, you'll fit in. You'll fit in just fine. Fit in just fine. And I was just looking at, because everybody's talking about temperatures, and Ryan, for you could correct me if I'm wrong, but today in Michigan, I got on a hoodie.
Oh,
just
true.
due to the fact this man was 56 degrees, and though we didn't have like the wind as a big factor, but because it was like majority cloudy out, it felt a little bit cooler than what it was. And so I think for the rest of this week, we're going to be up in the 50s, and then come the weekend, it's going to be crap all over again. It's going to be crap all over again. We got rain on Thursday, rain on Saturday, and then high from Wednesday and Thursday is 57. Friday, Saturday, 45, 41. And then that cool snap that Mark was talking about, yeah, we're going to get that all right. Drop down to 35 Monday morning. No, Sunday morning. It's going to be 35. Not looking forward to it. Not looking forward to it.
Man, I wouldn't mind. No, I would totally mind 35 degrees. What am I saying? Like when I went to school up in Tallahassee, that was when I really experienced cold weather, and I learned that I'm like an irritable bitch when it gets cold. I didn't know that about myself. Like you have to, you gotta experience things to learn new things about yourself. So I learned that I'm a fucking asshole when it gets cold, and I snap on people. Yeah, it's true. We do have a lot of snow. That's a snow day. I agree. If it goes under 50, that's a snow day for sure.
What?
With what snow? I don't know, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it a day.
Yeah. Wait. Oh, snaps. So we might get snow on Sunday.
Okay.
I've been seeing snow in the forecast, even when I checked this week. Yeah, because it's like in the 40s. It's in the 50s. Oh wait, just kidding. I'm looking at the daily or the hourly. Let me look at the 10
look at the weekly.
10 day. Still, it's only looking like it's gonna hit rain. And it is getting to like today's the 10th. Tomorrow's the 10th. Oh, it's gonna be a low of 29 tomorrow, but it's a high of 60. So it's like weird. So we're like bouncing between the 60s and the 40s.
That's
the
30
lows.
degrees. That's a 30-degree difference.
Yeah, actually, no, yeah. It's the 60, high 60 tomorrow, low 29, which is a pretty big difference. Some other days it's barely like 15. But I'm looking and I don't see any kind of, even the precipitation is still going to be like 30s, like 34. Even when it hits below 32, I think it's raining earlier when it's warm. So long story short, I'm looking to like the 23rd of November. And from what I can tell, there's no snow, which is actually weird because this time last year, no, not this time, but it was really a few weeks before, it was like maybe a week before Halloween. And wow, the fright came early because it was snowing like blizzard snow. I remember seeing like a TikTok and it was just like, Well, welcome to Massachusetts. It was just in the 60s last week, and here we are with the blizzard. Like the guy was just like not happy. Like it was actually pretty funny though. And I was just like, yes, because I literally saw like it was all snowing, and then I started seeing people on Snapchat and whoever post these relatable things, and I was like, yeah, how did this happen? This time though, it hasn't snowed at all, and it has barely even gotten cold enough to snow. It has, but like it hasn't been like windy, which is important. So I know we got onto a weatherology rant. Oh yeah, what happened with the 10% beer?
It's almost done.
Yeah, because you mentioned that you're drinking.
Like I have like one sip left. This is like from a local brewery. Where it says that, yeah, this is a local brewery down here in South Florida called Holy Mackerel. It's called Panic Attack because it literally feels like you're having a panic attack because it starts to like creep up on you, and you start to like kind of like I don't know, like the drunkenness kind of creeps up on you. It's sort of weird, but it's actually probably top 5 one of my favorite beers because it's an interesting experience.
Sorry, what was the name of
it? Holy Mackerel is the name of the brewery, and the beer is called Panic Attack. It's a Belgian style specialty.
Oh,
That's what it says. So it's like a Belgian ale. I love Belgians; those are my favorites. And Belgians are usually strong anyway. But yeah, like it's just like the feeling of this beer is sort of weird. Because I was starting to feel, and I was like trying to like act cool, and I guess I pulled it off. I was like, yeah.
I wouldn't have got away with it if it wasn't for that dashly good tasting beer.
And I have this more pumpkin whatever because fall never ends. All these Massachusetts though is pretty good because I mean like Sam Adams, if you think about some of the big name brands already out here. And there's a lot of like craft ciders. Like both of these are down east, which it's so weird because it's like everything is local, even if it's like Boston or like New Hampshire or Rhode Island. It's just like everything is local just because the whole of New England is so small that really in a few hours you can actually drive to any of these locations if you really wanted to check out the brewery. But like these are all local beers, and it's actually kind of cool. Like I never heard of Wormtown Brewery, which is this one. Down East, which is like more of a cider. But I had Down East sometime last year during the pandemic. Much sweeter than I usually drink, but like, I don't know. It's just cool to be able to like see like, oh yeah, this is actual local. Like I rarely will be, not like I'm trying to be like a snooty about it or like, oh, people do this, but I don't really drink like Coronas or I mean, I'll drink it if it's there, but I won't really buy it myself. I'd rather try the craft cider or really the craft beer, IPAs, whatever is local or on tap. Even if it's not on tap, if it's like something that's more local at least. But I don't know, unless it's Hoegaarden, because I have to have my Hoegaarden. And Allagash White. Allagash White, which I'm pretty sure is also like not from here. But that's that one I think is also Allagash White's in Portland, Maine. I didn't know it was local. Because I actually had that when I was in upstate New York, but that one is Belgian style. Yeah, it's a wheat beer. Wheat beers are good, and apparently they have less calories, or they'll like not make you bloated as much. Someone told me that recently.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I thought wheat was usually more. Actually, well, I don't know. When it comes to beer, everything's out the window. I don't really know.
Yeah, I know it's like with hard seltzers with me, they don't really make me feel bloated. Like, actually, I don't really feel bloated from this. Maybe I'll feel it later. But yeah, I feel like the cheap beers really make me feel bloated though. And no offense, like I like Yingling. I appreciate like a good Yingling.
Okay.
Bud Light is against my religion, but like those things can like make me feel, like kind of bloated. I don't know. I feel like they just pack it up with like some sort of bullshit because it's just they need to like really just like get it out there to massive amounts of people.
Mhm.
I haven't had a Sam Adams in a while though, but I do like them. Like, I guess because I actually went to like a brewery tour years ago, and I had like a new appreciation for it. So maybe it's just a bias, but they are good. Like out of the like the beers that you can just get quickly at a gas station if you're heading to a party, like Sam Adams is legit.
Oh, yeah. Agreed.
It's a
I
solid.
agree. I agree.
I'm tempted to get another drink though. I had a very
Yeah.
shitty couple of days. So like,
Yeah, mindful. What Mark said. What casino you at? I'm in on you.
okay.
Actually, you actually can, yeah.
Mm-hmm. if it's 4 wins, oh, I'm there. If it's 4 wins, I'm there.
Speaking of, I've barely been to casinos. It's very random, but I just remember being at this one nice one called Encore in the Boston area.
Okay.
And they have like these nice rooms. So like a friend had like a going away party, a coworker, and she didn't even invite coworkers. She invited like, technically she did, but they were like black basically. So she was black. She was black engineer, software engineer, and so she kind of invited not just like coworkers but friends of hers. So I was like, yo, I don't know what kind of events this is. I guess the random coworkers. No, it was like all black people. Some of them happened to be 4 wins.
Yes, I know where that's at.
South Bend would actually be a nice little area to visit.
Oh yeah, I'll pull it up on you, mindful, just so I can say, hey, I know you.
Hey,
So I can roll up on you, be like, gang.
hey, because did y'all end up ever meeting in person?
No, well, no, not yet, which is crazy. We have not. I almost thought we did, but I'll be lying. Like, no, I don't think we have. And it's not like he doesn't live far at all.
Michigan is not exactly the middle of the country, but like
No,
Missouri would be, but like close enough that we might as well just all pull up in Michigan
right?
or South Bend.
Yeah, why
a gang reunion.
So I got this hard kombucha. Like I had a Halloween party a few weeks ago, and I have like a ass ton of alcohol. So like somebody brought like this hard kombucha. It's called June Shine. Mind you, we're not promoting any of these things. We're not we're not getting paid.
No kickbacks, but
it says it says flip can to activate, which is weird.
Actually, my thing has something. I can't actually do it because it's. Hold on. All right. So there's something here that's like this is upside down. It's not gonna be possible to read, but
no, because that's why they flip it because it's like right side up.
Oh, sorry. I was like, yeah, let me keep it here. So it's like we know it's upside down, yada yada yada, and it's best enjoyed while being this way. So I forgot to do that. So I literally like drank all of it, and then I saw this message. So that's fun. But you're supposed to like shake it around, let settle for 10 seconds. I completely forgot that's a thing because I haven't had Down East cider in a while. And like I said, I don't really drink much cider. Like this is actually pretty good. Like I like Down East. It's just cider is a little too sweet. Like I'm not a fan of Angry Orchard and like Mike's Hard Lemonade and those kind of stuff. Because I'm just like, oh, my head just hurts from the sheer amount of sugar.
That's fair. This one says low sugar. It's a hard kombucha. It's 6%. It's made of coconut, pineapple, orange, and nutmeg. And I like all 4 of those things, so that's good.
That sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the Michael at this point, yeah, we were supposed to. I think my son messed around and got sick. The same evening that me and Mike was supposed to link up, which, teardrop. But because I know where this man works, and because of my current job situation as of right now, I might pull up on him. Actually, I probably could pull up on Mindful.
So South Bend, Indiana, isn't far from you?
No, like literally the Indiana border from where I live is like a 5-10 minute drive.
Oh,
Oh yeah, it's to the east, right?
It's like southeast. No, southwest. I'm sorry, southwest. It's like southwest. So I'm close to Elkhart, Mishawaka, South Bend. A lot of the cities that's kind of like northeast Indiana, about going through Michigan and taking 94 west. I can hit like I said, Mishawaka. I can hit Elkhart. I can hit Granger, South Bend. Again, all of those areas for me is like a 40-minute drive. Like I could go from my house to Elkhart in like 30 minutes. And that's me doing the speed limit. You know, that's me doing the speed limit. Or Mishawaka, or from here to Mishawaka, that's like an extra 20 minutes. So it's like 40, 50 minutes. And then South Bend is just on the other side of Mishawaka. So I'm already there. And of course, that's where Notre Dame is at, but nobody really cares.
Well,
so yeah.
And our current transportation secretary, Mayor Pete.
Right, that's what I always think about with South Bend, Indiana.
It brings me way back to campaign season. Pete Buttigieg area.
Yeah. When I was like when Tinder had that free like using the passport where you can just like swipe all over the world like around the beginning of the pandemic. I went to South Bend, Indiana just to see what people look like, what men look like there. And yeah, like I ended up like matching with this one guy and like he still like randomly texts me to this day. I respond like very rarely, but I don't know. I guess I was the hottest thing he's ever seen.
Oh.
It's just flattering, I guess.
I mean,
like you said that you worded like that, he was like,
no. But
okay,
that's how he was like talking to me. He was just like, "Whoa, where did you come from?" sort of thing. And I was just like, South Florida. I was just curious about South Bend, Indiana, because Pete Buttigieg always talks about it. That's where he's at. Yes, scoping the South Bend. See,
yeah, ain't much to look at.
I know. Like I'm gonna sound hella mean saying this, but like I don't know, having that passport feature for a month, like I really learned that, like, yeah, I see why people when they come down to South Florida, they're like, oh, the people are gorgeous here, because we are. I was like, oh, I thought everywhere guys just had 6-packs. No, that's not the case. Oh wow, I guess I have to like get to know them for their personalities. Oh man, which was like my intention, but like, you know, I just have to like change, you know, my motive.
It's all good. It's all good.
No offense or all the offense, whichever you want to take.
For the folks in South Bend, you can take all of it. You can have all of it. You can have all of it for $3.99.
Yeah.
Plus shipping.
We're like Amsterdam, men were gorgeous. New Zealand, Atlanta, Texas, California was like on like pretty much the same as South Florida. There was just like a lot of hot Asian men in California, which is pretty, you know, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I went to a lot of places.
Yeah,
Africa was exciting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
We're talking about swiping on this app, right?
Yeah, on Tinder.
Okay.
So that was fun. I it makes you kind of like, oh, I could travel there and meet this person in real life, etc., and so forth. One guy, I forgot where I think it was in New Zealand because he was a rugby player. But he's actually from, I keep forgetting, somewhere in Africa, like Kenya, Rwanda. I can't quite remember. But like, I don't know, we've connected on like Facebook and Instagram. So, like, we talk occasionally. I think he's actually younger than me. I don't think that's what he was saying on Tinder at the time. But yeah. Anyway, I did want to talk about something else though to get back on topic.
Yes.
I feel like another thing about projection is, at least with me, being a woman, we'd be lying if we said like we get hit on, and by men or whatever. So it's always like when we see an attractive man, I'm probably just speaking for myself, so I'll speak for myself and the few women I've spoken to about this. When we see an attractive man, it's like, yeah, we would like to, come up and, start talking to him if you have the guts. But we always feel that, it's like, okay, if I find him attractive, I'm sure a lot of other women do, and he probably gets hit on a lot, and his ego is probably like inflated up to the, to the ceiling. So like, what good is me saying that? But apparently, like, men don't get compliments. And that really makes me sad, even though, like, yeah, as a woman, I get hit on and compliments or what have you, it's still like, okay, I'm, I guess, a relatively attractive woman in this world going about my day. I'm not like a goblin, so that's, at least I know that.
Never.
Oh, thanks, Debbie. But but I guess men don't really get compliments, especially on their looks. I feel like if men get compliments, it's probably on their clothes, maybe their car, things that they have, but it's probably never really like on their looks. And I feel like when men compliment a woman on their looks, it's like still like a bit of a projection. Like, I'm complimenting you on your looks, and I'm hoping, I could probably sort of receive the same thing in a way to at least know that you find me attractive enough to have sex with. So Tabby gives the nod of approval.
I mean, I'm just like, I feel like that's not that's not quite like my level of 10, but I kind of am like nodding off, like, yeah, I can see that. I get it. I get it.
Right. And yeah, and like, but like, growing up, as women, like, we're taught to like, oh, men are always thinking about sex, men. That's all they're after. That's all they want. Men have big egos, blah, blah. So it's kind of like it's like, okay, since men have this, supposedly, we have to kind of counteract that because men and women are in this never-ending cat fight battle when all we want is each other. Speaking for men who like women and women who like men, of course. But yeah, I was out with a friend a couple of months ago, and like he kind of made me realize that, because there was like an attractive man working the bar, and I just assumed that he always got compliments because he works at a bar, so women are drunk and are probably less inhibition, so they probably more likely to hit on him or whatever. So I asked him, oh, thanks. And I asked him, it's like, because I bet with my friend, it's like, hey, if he gets a lot of compliments, I'll buy you a drink. And if, it's like, if you're right, I'll buy you a drink. If I'm right, you buy me a drink, sort of thing. So we called him over, and I said, like, hey, you're a good looking guy, blah, 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 but I'm sure you get that a lot. He was like, no, I never get compliments. I was like, are you fucking serious? But I guess women probably, like, in general, I presume men probably don't I mean, women probably don't really compliment men because they assume that attractive men probably get a lot of compliments, because like we always hear stories of fans, like women fans, throwing like panties at Justin Bieber or, like rock stars or whatever, and just probably sliding into many, like showing at least some sort of interest, granted creepy interest, but showing interest. So I guess like with that notion, I felt like, oh, he probably gets a lot of compliments. Women are probably stumbling into this pinball museum drunk and complimenting him because he's a good looking guy. But that may not even be the case, or maybe we're all thinking this, and where no woman is actually pursuing. No woman is actually complimenting men. Quick story. There was a time, like this was before COVID, like a couple of years ago. I was at a brewery with some friends, and there was like this guy there who I thought was a good looking guy. And I told one of my friends who's he's a, I don't even know how to explain him. He's kind of an asshole, but he's just like, if you find him attractive, go talk to him. Go talk to him. Tell him you think he's handsome. I was like, I'm not going to do that. I was like, go do that. Like, what man wouldn't want that? It's like, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And of course I was, thinking up all sorts of things in my head. I'm a black woman. This guy was a white man. And, it's just like, what would that, like, it's like, I find him attractive. He might not find me attractive. And like, would he even want to hear this from me? And, it's like, I'm sure he gets that a lot. I mean, like, look at him. He's a good looking man. I'm sure he gets that a lot. But he was like at the brewery for an oddly long time. And it turns out like he kind of like works for like beer distribution or what have you. So I ended up going up to him, and it was like awkward because, this was clearly post college, and going up to people at a party in college is easy because you could just be like, hey, what's your major? And that's like a conversation starter. But in the real world, you can't say that. So I was like, I don't know what the hell to say, but I'll just try my best. So I went up to him, and I was just like, hey, and I like put out my hand to like shake. It's like, hey, I'm sorry. I can't remember exactly what I said, but like, hey, if it's okay, I just think that you're really handsome. And he was like, he could not believe it. Like I probably made his entire year, because he was like, what, me? Or he's like, I was like, oh my goodness, this never happened. Like he literally said, he's like, this never happens. Like, give people a chance. No, it's not like I'm not giving white men a chance. No. But like, I felt like with me, it's like, I don't know, black women are always like black women tend to not be desired. And we're like the least desirable. Like every black woman, maybe not everyone, but like a lot of black women know of I think it was like a 2014 study by OkCupid about, or 2009, and then there was another one where there was like who gets the most like responses back, and black women was like hella low. Like black women and Asian men were very, very low in terms of like mutual response rates, and it's obviously due to like stereotypes and bullshit. Like Asian men go through the ringer with like pretty much the one or two stereotypes, one being the one that everybody knows, and which isn't true, and the second one that also isn't true. One comedian did a great joke about it where he said that it's like, I don't understand why Asian men are always looked as like asexual or not wanting, like are unworthy, like don't have sex, because in China you can only have like one baby or something like that. So they had the one baby law. Like what other country had a limit of how many times? Like they were just having so many babies that it's just like, no, you gotta cut that short. So it's like, yeah, they're fucking. Like it's pretty much to say the least.
Interesting. So
you do have a beautiful queen.
Yeah, I was about to say one cosign. I mean, I don't know if I've seen, but like cosign to like just that statement. Awesome, we see you out here.
She's
I seen the pictures of her.
absolutely beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, very, very beautiful.
But also, that was kind of wild. The story you were just telling that I never heard the stereotype. I mean, I know stereotype, of course, about like Asian men, whatever, whether it's about the size or just about the sex drive. But I never knew connected it to like the one child policy from China, which is like that's really bad considering China is one country out of all Asians, and then you have, of course, Asian Americans or even like any other Asian in diaspora. So it's like, are you gonna like claim that a British Japanese dual citizen is hampered because of something in China? Oh God, that's not good.
Yeah, no, like the comedian, I thought he was like, that joke was absolutely brilliant because it's true. Because what other country has, like, it's one country, China, has 1 billion people, and another Asian country has 1 billion people, which is India. So yeah, like, and like, it's not just Eastern Asian men, but it's also like the South Asian, like Indian men who are stereotyped as well. And it's like they have the most people. Like, just those two countries equate to like 2/7 of the entire world's population. And how many countries are there? And then just those two countries make up over 2 billion people. Like, that's insane. Like, because it goes China in population, then India in population, then America, the United States in country. But we have like 330 million. We're not even halfway to 1 billion. While those two countries are already at 1 billion. And like, it's projected that like Nigeria is most likely gonna, in terms of population, gonna overtake the United States. I believe it's Nigeria. I think it's Nigeria.
Yeah.
Yay! Yeah.
Well, actually, what was the comedian? I had missed that was actually how the story started. This was a comedy special. I thought it was just some random person who made this comment.
Man, what is his name? Man, it's like his special was like, I think his name is Phil Wang, because his special I think was called Philly Philly Wang Wang or something like that, which is hilarious. He's like half Philly Philly Wang, yeah, Philly Philly Wang Wang. Phil Wang, yeah, he's like half white British, half Chinese.
Okay.
And he makes jokes about like those are like the two most powerful countries. I was like, yeah, you're not. That's kind of accurate.
I found.
Yeah, India has almost 4 times the population. One third.
Dense. Might be the dense.
Malaysia?
No,
Philly Wang? Oh no, he's like half Chinese, half like British.
Oh, he is British Malaysian.
Oh, he's British Malaysian? Oh, okay.
Well, but Chinese Malaysian father, and then
okay.
family. So he did seem to grow up, or at least he lived a bit. Yeah, he grew up in Malaysia. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. My bad.
I don't know if it's English mother.
Are you right, Chad?
Oh, so it's English. His mother is English. Oh snap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Back to the UK. Okay, cool. Yeah, King's College. Nice.
Another form of projection that I think gets like widely spread on, like the interwebs, Instagram, YouTube, definitely like video platforms, is essentially the fact that men get upset that women can have sex with men a lot easier. And it's like, I mean, I don't know, I'm not a man, so I don't know like how much you all are in dire straits that you feel like you need to shoot up like a SunTrust bank or like that shit happened. The man didn't.
Yeah.
It was like,
whoa.
Yes, that happened.
Right. He was just, because it's like, I I don't know, like that shit's fucking scary because I'm like, okay, you're not having sex as much as you want, or you've never had sex, but like when you do have sex, it's like sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's just okay. You know, like, I was like, I understand that, you know, there's music about it all the fucking time and everybody talks about it all the fucking time. But it's like, it's not worth shooting up a bank for.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes. Agreed.
And it's not like it's that, I don't know. Like if you wanted to have sex with someone, you can. You know, but it's like I understand that you may want to have sex with a particular person or like a ridiculously beautiful woman. But if you feel like you like yeah, involuntary celibate incel, like if you wanted to have sex with someone like consensually, I gotta, you know, emphasize that you can.
Mhm.
It just may not be with someone as attractive as you're hoping, but if you know, it's not as involuntary as you think. And it's not like you have to say like 7 nice things to, you know, in order to have sex. With some women it can, and some women it can. And, you know, women don't owe you anything.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
it just seems like, especially with like men complaining about, you know, trash women or, you know, like women that they've dated or what have you on Instagram or where, you know, other videos, socials, and they get spread around. I always feel like the advice is always kind of the same. It's like, okay, yeah, women, it's like, oh, women want this, women want your attention, women want, you know, like, you know, they'll deplete your energy. That's something I saw like even today.
Yes. George, shout outs to George Carlin. Yes.
Oh yeah. No, that man was a genius for sure. One of his lines, one of his bits was his jokes was think of the most average person you know. And like think and you know how stupid the average person you know is, and realize that 50% of the people are stupider than that. And it's like that line just blew my mind because it's so true. It's like, yeah, the average person who's just like got an average job in an average life, and like they're still, I feel like they're just stupid as hell. I'm like, wow. Yeah, but that's definitely one of my favorite lines. Like if they don't meet your standards, lower your standards. That's funny.
and there's so many things about this that's so interesting. Like, I want to hear what the rest of what you have to say. But like, when it comes to like men, oh my gosh, like there's something that hit me with this like general topic of, oh yeah, I guess like people projecting their whole life experiences onto like, or like wishing that like, oh my god, like why can't I get this? Why can't I get the sex? Why am I not just having sex thrown at me? Or you like project your entire life experience onto every woman because of whoever hurt you. And then of course people always like, who hurt you? And it's like, yeah, someone did. And so now I'm gonna like I saw one thing on Twitter, one viral tweet like maybe last year. It was like one woman, like a guy will get hurt by one woman, and he'll hurt every woman he sees for the rest of his life.
It's true.
It's kind of funny,
Oh my goodness! Yes, I've been thinking about this a lot. Like, go on. Sorry.
Well, I think I was just like I just like had so many things that are kind of like tangential, but I was gonna let you continue on what you were saying first before I went too far down the road. Plus, I needed to collect the thoughts a little bit more coherently.
Okay, but to go off of what you just said, I was just thinking about if any of you guys watch the show Insecure on HBO. One, if you don't, you should, and two, is all. I mean, so like the main character. Sorry, spoiler alert, but you should have fucking watched the show. Like, spoiler alert. Everyone should watch the show because it's absolutely it's written absolutely brilliantly. But the main character, who's a woman, cheated on her boyfriend, and there are men up and down swearing up and down that the boyfriend didn't do anything wrong, and I'm like, okay. And I've watched the show. I've probably watched every episode at least twice, if not 3 times, because the writing is just absolutely brilliant, and it's definitely incredibly entertaining, incredibly funny, and just hands down just a phenomenal series. And the main character, like the boyfriend, every man is on what they call Team Lawrence, because it's like, oh yeah, absolutely genius writer, absolutely. Every man is like on Team Lawrence, because it's like, oh, he didn't cheat on her, he didn't do anything wrong. But if you watch the first episode, she doesn't cheat on him in the first episode, but the first episode lays down a lot of what's going on. She's been with the boyfriend for 5 years, and she's been the only one working for at least 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. He's clearly a smart guy. He feels like he deserves like a higher, better position, but he's not working, and he doesn't really, he's clearly going through some stuff that he needs to sort out, but he is sort of putting it on the back burner. It's her birthday, the first episode, and he doesn't get her anything because he had an interview and it went really, really poorly, and he just feels like, it's fine because they've been together for so long. So, they've grown very comfortable because they've been together for 5 years. Exactly. He wasn't fulfilling her needs in several ways, and she was. So it just seemed to be a very like bland relationship where they just sort of coexist with each other, almost became roommates. And it's because he needed to sort out his shit, but he just sort of wasn't. And yeah, so, but a lot of men will be like, oh, well, she cheated on him. Like, because he was, at the time when she cheated on him, he was starting to kind of get back into things. He got a job. Granted, it was at Best Buy, but he got a job, and he was like, kind of going back into things. And I think he ended up getting like a better job. Yeah, he ended up getting a better job, but like he was working at Best Buy. Right? Yeah, but I think when she cheated on him, I think he was still working at Best. Anyway, so yeah, so she was like, he was starting to kind of get back into things, and. Mind you, they're like in their late 20s at this point. Like she had just turned 29, so they're like in later adulthood at this point. They're and I've said this on this stream plenty of times. Like, they're upgrading from the 2000 Honda Civic to like now maybe like a 2016 like Acura TL. So. Or maybe yeah at least like that's where she's trying to go to, but like he's just still living in the 2000 Honda Civic days, metaphorically speaking. Still thinking that they're going somewhere where they're not going anywhere. And so trying to think like where I was going with it, but like because he didn't cheat on her, a lot of men throughout the internet feel like, oh, he didn't do anything wrong. Like, I mean, yeah, she cheated on him, and that's not good, but he did a lot of not great things either. Like, just because you didn't do anything doesn't mean you're in the right. It's like doing nothing isn't okay. Right. And he was doing nothing. He didn't even get her anything for her birthday. He didn't really plan anything. He was just sort of going through his own shit and wasn't really realizing how it could be affecting the people that he loves around him. And, he was, like essentially like a fuck boy, which one of the characters calls him later. Well, a fuck N-word. And it took me like a long time to realize, like, was he really? But then I realized like what a fuckboy actually is. It's just somebody who just kind of goes through life thinking that nothing they do is really affects anybody, or they could talk to anybody in any which way, and it doesn't really affect anyone. But in reality, like, yeah, it does. It's like, hey, I care about you. Don't talk to me that way. Or like, hey, I care about you. Do something with your life. Hey, I care about you. Try to get a little, healthier and, do things. But because they may feel like they're not in anybody's way, or they're not like financially hurting somebody, or they're not hurting them in a way that if they were in that situation will hurt them, they feel like what they're doing is okay, which I guess is like another form of projection. Exactly. Yeah, he was depressed and mentally checked out of life. Yeah.
Sheesh.
He was trying to like he was just kind of he's in tech too. So, which I can like sort of relate to in terms of like trying to create something, and he might think he's like on the precipice of something, but yeah, he was definitely just mentally checked out of life. And yeah, and their relationship, like just because she's there doesn't mean you have her,
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. You gotta put in work. Gotta put in work to keep it.
True.
So she ended up cheating on him with a man who was doing something with his life, who was like living his life, doing things, going out, So she ended up cheating on him with that guy, and not the best thing, but it's understandable as to why she reacted.
Blow this up.
Yeah, exactly.
There's already an issue at the root, and it's just going to kind of like manifest, like, unfortunately, like you said, not that like, oh yeah, now let's just go encourage people to cheat, but it's like things were already wrong. There was already some like issue at the root, and the cheating was like one of the, you could say, symptoms or diseases that came out from that. But there was already like something more core wrong, and I'll have to watch it, of course.
Oh yeah, definitely. Please do. My like it's absolutely phenomenal. Like you're not gonna TSA guy was the funniest. I'm gonna call him a side piece because she wasn't really like in a relationship at the time. This is like way later. This was like I want to say season 4. They're in the final season now, season 5. But like the TSA guy was hilarious. He was just someone Issa's character was just sleeping with because it's just somebody casual that she connected while she's like going through her life. Like she wasn't, she was I think like working on her business and whatnot. She was like in a pretty good place in her life, and she had a guy that she was just sleeping with. But yeah, he was funny though. like you could tell, like they're not going to get together, but he was just hilarious.
The booty button. Okay, now I gotta watch it.
Oh yeah,
that's one thing. I'm just like,
Yeah, no, it's an absolutely like phenomenal series. I think I haven't had as many conversations with people about a TV show as I have with Insecure, because there's so many like little tidbits, there's so many nuances, like there's a lot of conversation. And I remember they said that like in the writer's room, if they're talking about something and like there's like a discussion about it, then they have to put it in the show. So it's pretty average. It's like it's pretty like the norm, especially in Hollywood. If you're writing a script and the man cheats on a woman, that's almost expected, but it's almost unheard of when the woman cheats on the man. So because they had that conversation, they put it in the show. And it's a pretty risky thing to put in the first season of a show. So they did that. Another conversation they had was, I guess, exploring sexuality as a man, because there's a character that admits to another character that's like, who he's like, yeah, I had a guy go down on me, even though the woman that he was just talking to just admitted that she's made out with a girl in college. So she was it's totally norm for her as a woman to have, like a homosexual lesbian experience with another woman, but it's not okay for him to have like a homosexual or homoerotic experience with a man. It's like now, because now she starts questioning, like, is he gay? is he gay? You know, like she can't continue to be with him, even though there's really nothing wrong with him. He just had a guy go down on him like years ago, you know, just to explore. So like that was a really great, you know, moment. I think that was in the first season as well. But I've had like, you know, just several conversations with people, and, you know, like being able to test the limits of things. And, you know, like I personally wouldn't mind if, you know, I wouldn't care. I've been with guys who've been with guys, you know, like if you feel like that's something you need to explore, then fine. You know, I'm not you. But if you're here with me, then great, because I like you. So.
Yeah, in fact, I was even thinking that's like another perfect thing. I'm glad you said double standards, because I was thinking like that's not projection, but I knew there was some kind of term to describe that where it's like, and I've heard that a lot before, where there are girls who I've met, who I'm friends with, who have mentioned being bisexual, and that, you know, maybe they've slept around with girls themselves, but then like if a guy had at any point in the past had another guy sleep with them, then it's like, oh no, I don't know about that, and I'm like, what?
I know, it makes no sense. It's just like the society, like we're still in a patriarchal society, and like a man being with a man is considered, you know, kind of weak. You know, it's considered like feminine, and feminine is considered lesser than masculine, and, you know, so on and so forth. And, you know, and also like, you know, being like homophobic and gay bashing and stuff like that can sometimes be a form of projection as well. From what I've heard, like I remember there was like a episode of Glee where this guy finally came out as gay after like constantly bullying a gay kid who was proudly out and gay. And even in the show Sex Education, that was sort of the case too. I didn't know if that was actually a thing, but apparently it is. Like I've spoken to like one of my older gay friends. He said like, oh yeah, that does happen. And I always found it to be like just very odd, because it's like, I guess like they just truly hate that this person is what they want themselves to be. You know, like this person's out and proud, and they feel like, oh, they're just like showing it off to everybody. Like, how dare they? Because they themselves are closeted, and they feel like they need to like hide that. So it's like, you need to hide that too. So I guess that's like sort of the case. So they, or maybe because like, you know, maybe I don't know. I don't want to freaking psychoanalyze this. This is way out of my pay grade. So that might be that, you know, that might be the case where, you know, like, how dare they just be so out about it?
Right.
Yeah, projecting self-hatred.
Yeah.
Which is very, very sad. I feel like that's just what narcissists do 100% of the time. But of course, like, we probably all project self-hatred in some ways. I've caught myself, you know, like giving advice to like my mom and stuff. I feel like my mom and I are very similar in certain ways. Like we tend to procrastinate a lot, and we have ideas for things, and, you know, like starting it could be very difficult. We feel like starting it is contingent on other things. I've tried to like break out of that and try to just do things on my own, but I still see my mom struggling with that personally. And sometimes when I'm giving her advice or trying to talk to her about it, I feel like I might be talking to myself, and it's like, shit, I guess I gotta take my own advice.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I guess you definitely can project self-hatred. You could project self-dissatisfaction, I guess.
Yeah.
So I found something that's related to what was being said earlier about like guys, like girls who are like, oh, women have it so easy, and then I knew that there was some really good. Oh man, yeah, that also could be like the most like, let me go as hard as I can to like tell myself that I'm not gay, and I'm just gonna run on everything possible anti. That's definitely an option too.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. I was just thinking how, you know, I guess some men, of course, not all of y'all, like obsess about sex so often that I guess they look at women and they're like, wow, they just have it so easy, like what Toby just said. And it, I mean, like there's a lot of consequences. Well, I shouldn't say consequences, but there's a lot of, I guess, drawbacks to just going out and having a fuck ton of casual sex. Like it's nothing. It's like, hey, I can get pregnant. That's a big thing. That's an actual thing that can happen. Like caught hanging in some bondage thing is a.
Whoa! Whoa! Okay.
Okay. That's in a really small town with no space. Caught hanging in some bondage. Is that like against the Bible? I don't know. Like being honest.
I mean, it may just be one of those like less than desirable, like not crisp and clean. Not, I mean, it probably isn't really bad outside of like a consensual marriage or whatever. Or like, but it's still to like be showcast. But actually, you know what? I don't actually know because if you're right, if he's caught in it and that's a controversy, and that was with his like wife or whatever, then that is interesting because then it's like what's the controversy about?
Oh, so he was gay. Oh, because about the LGBTQ
gay lover. Oh no.
Oh my. He deserved it. He deserved it. Like if he was like very anti-gay in church, and then he had a gay lover, he deserved it. I'll say that. If he was very pro LGBTQ in the church, and that happened, I'd be like, okay, I'll still continue going to the church. Like, but if he was like, it's like okay, whatever, it happens. But if he was like very anti-gay, then I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Or just treat sex as an actual reproduction.
Yeah,
that's so sad.
What Mindful said. Yeah, that's true.
That is very true. Yeah,
that's true.
I did want to quickly say, there's repercussions to just having casual sex. So like willy nilly, like we can get pregnant, STDs, STIs, etc., and all sorts of things, and that's big. Like that's huge. Like I could get an abortion now. I don't know for how much longer because I have a crazy ass governor. But that's, like that's still a whole thing. It costs money. It's it's a whole thing. It's not like it's sad. It's a lot. It's a lot emotionally too. Like an abortion is not like an easy thing. For some women, I guess it can be. I guarantee you, for most, it's like a huge thing because it is a huge thing and it's understandable. It's a very weighty choice.
Yes.
But like I firmly believe it should be the choice of of the woman. But granted, like we could I guess just have a ton of casual sex with people. Yippee.
I mean, sure.
It's like I feel like at the you might have like a crazy amazing orgasm, but like I feel like on average it'll probably be none, and or it may just be like mediocre sex, and it's like, what am I doing this for? I feel like this is just a massive waste of time. But
wait, you're talking about
just like, huh?
At the same time, or were you talking about a lot of different people at different times?
Oh no, just one person. I mean, I guess multiple, but like I was mainly just referring to one person at a time.
Okay, that's what I thought. But then you're like, you could die, and I was like, wait, you could die? I mean, I guess STD, but
I didn't say die.
Oh, maybe never mind. That might.
I guess you can. Yeah, I mean that's another thing too. Like men can be really fucking crazy.
Yes.
Like that's a whole safety thing that I'm sure a lot of men who are like, oh, women have it so easy aren't thinking about. Like, have you met men?
Yeah, some of them are not the cleanliest. I can't talk right now. Some of them are not the most
Cleanliness.
hygiene friendly men at all. They're probably not. Never will be.
That's another.
And even then, it's like women have standards. Like they're not just gonna sleep around with every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Like, nah. Women have standards, and if you don't meet their criteria, then you ain't getting none. Plain and simple. Just accept it. Just
Right.
accept
Yeah.
it. And then like, and even then, it's like with most men, when they sleep around, it's like it almost is like the bottom of the barrel. Like it's not even like they have no standards. Like as long as she's over the age of 18, has huge breath, a big butt, some hips, and everything else, we in there. Like, okay.
I mean, that's a lot of criteria. Like a lot of men, it's just like over 18, fat ass. That's it. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, I saw her from the back. That was all I needed. That's
Yeah,
literally
right.
like what some guys told me this weekend. Not like we were just talking about. What were we talking about? Oh, like how easy it is for a woman to just go up to a man and ask to have sex. I'm like, that's not. I guess it's like just like a whole other difference between like what we think about too, because I can't speak for all women.
Mm-hmm.
I can only really speak for myself, but I'm not really just like out there, just like, oh yeah, I'd have sex with you. I'd have sex with. I mean, sometimes if the man is like really hot, but I guess like, you know, I'm just, apparently they were telling me like, oh, men are just like always ready, which I still don't think is true. It's like, yeah, you might be always ready for for me, and that's probably what you're projecting when you're saying that.
Mm.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That is hella accurate. Like, I guess they see women as like these perceived gatekeepers. I mean, I'm like, we kind of, I don't know. Like, like what Ron said. Like, we have standards. Yeah, we're not going to just sleep with any Tom, Dick, or Harry.
Mm-hmm.
And like, whenever men think that, like, oh, if I were a woman, I'd be blah blah blah, this and that. It's like, first of all, brave of you to assume that if you're a woman, you'd be a hot woman. So, like,
Number one.
you might
Number
not
one.
be. Like, and to think that you'd be a hot, likable woman. Like,
Got to qualify a little bit.
right,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, not for every man, of course, but you gotta be at least good enough to have around for I don't know, 2-3 hours at least at the bare minimum.
Oh man.
Like the totality of knowing this person. The second part is the most fantastical.
Yes.
Like,
You gotta be likable. Like there's some women, nah, they are not likable whatsoever. Like because of your personality makes you ugly. No.
right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So no, but like, because like they're having like like they're projecting themselves as how they are now, but a woman. So like they're just seeing what like their life is. It's like, yeah, I can walk around at night by myself and feel totally fine. It's like, not when you're a woman, you can't do that.
Right.
I applaud every woman I see like jogging at night. It's like, man, that's bravery, and it's a fucking sad thought to even have. But like, yeah, like you're sitting there projecting yourself like, okay, if I was just a woman, but you don't have all the privileges and benefits of being a man when you're a woman. When you like suddenly like turned yourself into a woman, like some Freaky Friday, your name kind of thing. But yeah, so like it's not as easy as it seems. Yeah, it's easier, right. But it's not a cakewalk at all. Because it's like, all right, if I'm gonna have sex with this person, I have to be in their space in some way, or my space, or like in some sort of close proximity with this person. totally naked and vulnerable. They're stronger than me all the time. Like, so, like, so it's, there's that. Like the safety factor, the like, what if he was like, I don't know, like a cop and could just get away with it, or like, sadly and fucking unfortunately, that, like these are the thoughts that, go through our head. It's like, okay, let me invite this guy to my house. I'm sure every woman probably has that thought. It's like, I hope nothing happens. Let me tell my friends what's going on. Just so nothing happens, and it's fuck. Like, you don't want to live life like that,
Right?
Yeah.
It's considered a safety one out and about looking for. Absolutely, safety is a massive thing. It's so big that it's also a turn on, which is like kind of pathetic somewhat.
Wait, you said what's the turn on?
Safety, just feeling safe.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like, oh, he makes me feel safe. I'm comfortable enough that he is safe. Like, in the triangle Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I think safety is like the second rung. The first rung is like food, water, shelter, and sometimes sex, biological is like in that is in that fourth rung in terms of just reproduction, creating another thing. And then the second one is like safety, health, and things like, I don't even know if community and family is in the second rung. I think that might be like in the third rung, if I'm not mistaken. So, like, we have to feel at least safe with you. Yeah, of course, sometimes we skip that part if we're, just having like a one night stand or something like. But it's not something we're not thinking about. Like, it's always something that's like in the back of our head. Like, oh, he might kill me. It's like, oh, there's probably like a 5% chance he'll kill me. Well, like, I mean, I don't know if. I mean, I don't want to call you out, Toby, but you're the one that's the one that's not married. Like, if you're ever have like a one night stand or something, and you're just like thinking, oh man, this woman might kill me. Sorry if I'm putting you on the spot. You don't have to answer. But like,
what's the how do you answer such a loaded question? Definitely not. I mean,
okay.
No, and like in general, I hadn't had like one night stands, but even like if I like have friends, we go back, whatever. I've not really thought like, oh wow, maybe this person will come. I mean, there have definitely been times where I haven't known a person that well, and they have come back to like my place, even if like not a lot happened, and even if it was just kind of like, you're chilling, maybe cuddle, but like I haven't been like, maybe sometimes I get a little worried, like I don't really know who this person is, and I'm not sure I would just like keep them here while I go off and do my own thing, but not necessarily like, oh, I'm gonna get my throat slit or something. Sheesh. Sorry, I've been watching too much Criminal Minds, so like I can just think graphically of like many different ways that people die in these scenarios. But thankfully no. But I get it. Like that is like a real consideration. Even if people are like really like, oh, you can tell a girl might be really into a guy or whatever, but even at some point, a lot of the times, even if they're drunk, even if they're like entertaining the guy, making out with the guy at a party, usually it won't get to that point where they're like, oh wait. I mean, obviously there are people who will go home with the guy, but like I've seen firsthand, or I should say maybe more so secondhand, that even when a girl's kind of entertaining, like there's a point where it's like they pull back, where it's like, okay, they're not actually about to leave with this person. They're still going to leave with the people they came with. Or if they came by themselves, they'll have enough discipline and leave by themselves. And so that I'm sure has come from just like a lot of firsthand experience that they've had or things that they've heard. Just like it's instilled in you that like, no, like you don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
And so it's like, it's sad, but it's good to kind of see that, like, I don't know, that a lot of situations that end up worse, but it's sad that it even happened. It could happen in the first place.
Yeah.
No, and also, I found this video. It's just difficult to send this thing because of trying to link between. Yeah, it's not sending. I'm gonna have to like send this more manually, unfortunately. But it was a TikTok about someone who was kind of like, I guess the woman was like, "Oh, men are always like, it's so easy. Why are girls so? Why is it like men who are like, it's so easy? Women like live life on easy mode, X, Y, Z." Oh, I don't know if you've heard that.
What is easy mode exactly?
Or I guess because there was something about like, this was like actually something else I think on Instagram, maybe like one of those Twitter slideshows where it was kind of like, oh, like women just get like drinks bought at the bar and all this other stuff, and like it's like nothing, like no effort, no, like it's just super easy, you get all these things, whatever, but like usually like obviously the women have their perspective about like there's a lot of things like the safety issue. There's many, even like in the act of like getting a free drink or whatever, you have to wonder, okay, what's attached to this, and all this other stuff. So they made very good points, but like I've even seen like guys unironically commenting on certain posts like, wow, well, the women really live life on easy, like this is the easy mode. They have the cheat codes already. Maybe someone even says the Konami code if you really want to get nerdy.
Wow.
But like, yeah, there is a lot out there that they think in their life, like if that's your, like, oh man, I wish I could just be talking to women and getting like, just be able to get in at any time. Then yeah, you're projecting that experience or that want and that need, and then thinking that like if I was a woman, gosh,
a hot woman, a hot likable woman,
I know that I would want this, so this is what this is what I would do with my newfound powers or whatever. I really wish I could send this thing because it's actually really funny.
I mean, maybe send it in our Twitter chat.
Yeah, and I have to get it onto my computer because I found it on my phone.
Okay.
But it's like not,
phone.
yeah, I'll figure it out.
No, but it's true. Like that's a massive projection, and like that's like something that I really hate about just like the trash dating advice that we see on YouTube, Instagram, and other video platforms, because like that's not all there is to life, dude. Like just getting free drinks and people wanting to have sex. No, that's like 1% of life. Like, that's like barely anything. Like we've been cooped up in our homes for how long? I haven't been getting free drinks. Like, are you kidding? Like I haven't been like yeah, no. What's it? But like, yeah, he's definitely projecting, like thinking that it's like, oh, it's just so easy because he feels some type of way being a man that like it's always known as the man has to go pursue the woman, has to go up to the woman. It's like, oh man, women have it so easy because men are just going up to them. It's like that's not always the case, especially nowadays because of I don't know what the hell it was. Like some men like to blame it on feminism. Some, people like to blame it on whatever. Where it's like, oh, women don't like it when men approach them. It's like, A, it depends on the woman, and B, it depends on how we're approached.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like you can. It's like, there's always like the joke of I don't know if it's a joke, but like the meme that's like, oh, if like an ugly disgusting man goes up to a woman, he's being a creeper. If a very attractive man goes up to a woman, he's it's like it's just flirting.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, that's also like another form of projection. Maybe the woman's like, why is this old grown man coming up to talk to me and want some sort of shit right now? Like this is really fucking weird and it's kind of creepy. Like I am like 27 and this man is clearly like in his 50s. Like, what is he doing? It's like, yeah, I'm legal, but like dude, like we don't have anything in common. Like we're 2 different generations.
Mm-hmm.
So like it could be like that case. It could be, like, and so like you may be coming off as creepy and not really realizing that, and you may find out a little too late, which is very unfortunate. Absolutely, like I think that should have been like more of a conversation, like personal conversation to have with the other person. Like, hey man, I don't really like, and women do definitely need to like speak up more of course, I understand it's incredibly difficult in a lot of cases, especially if like the person pursuing you is your boss or like your manager or something. That that's a whole other thing. But if this person's like just like a fellow employee or a friend or like a friend of a friend, like in the group or what have you, women definitely do need to like at least speak up, and you got to really put like your happiness and your comfort kind of like ahead of that. And if this guy is clearly coming on to you very heavily, then you have to like speak up and be like, yo dude, I'm sorry, I don't feel the same way. And I know that you've been coming on to me, but I just don't feel the same way, and it hurts, but it's a necessary hurt. And to move on and to go on with your life. But yeah, it's definitely like a form of projection, like with the cheat codes. It's not, but it's just not as like hunky dory. It's just like, I guess you want women to come up to you is pretty much what you're saying. And and it's also another weird place because there's a lot of men who don't like it when women come up to them. Not even necessarily if they're very attractive or not, but it's just what they've been taught. Where like, oh, if a woman comes up to a man, that shows that she's desperate, it shows this, it shows that, and therefore you need to be turned off by that. Where she probably just knows what she likes and doesn't know any other way to convey that. That's sometimes my issue. It's like, I don't know how to fucking flirt, but I do know to be like, hey, I like you, I don't want to get to know you more, let's hang out, because this is I want to be around you more. I don't know how else to convey that. I don't know, like, I don't want to, like, I don't know, bend and snap like we're in Legally Blonde. I don't want to, like, look away, then look at you, then look away again, or some sort of crap. Like, no, like, I want to, I'm just, like, saying some stereotypical bullshit, but, like, I just want to be upfront with you. And that's all that I know, because if I beat around the bush, I'm going to beat around very far away bushes and you don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. So like, might as well just cut to the chase and just be like, hey, let's hang out, let's grab a drink. You don't want that? Okay, I tried. Goodbye. But
Right.
Please do not say like, oh, I wish women would come up to me when I just did. It's like, no, you want a particular woman to come up to you.
And then one thing actually that I noticed, like I saw it, because I'm pretty sure like I am one of those Reddits that's like not pickup artists, but like there's like r/seduction, and it's actually not like a kind of crazy like red pill F woman type thing, but it's more like just sometimes when I see things, it's just like, yeah, there's like a lot of guys self-moping, and then usually the guys will like drag them or roast them and be like, yeah, first of all, you need more confidence, you have to like stop being pity. So there's actually like pretty good advice about actually improving yourself and not just like complaining and like basically taking the frustration on a woman. And I saw one interesting thing on the subreddit maybe a few months ago, but it was saying that apparently women don't actually often get approached that much in broad daylight. Like, yes, you'll see a lot of it, of course, at the bars, at the clubs, late at night, places where maybe that they don't always feel as comfortable. I mean, sometimes yes, because we're all in the spirit, but at some point it's like, we just came out of the club, we're trying to go home, it's 2-something a.m. Yeah, maybe you entertain some of these guys, but at the same time, maybe not. But apparently, like in broad daylight, like just someone kind of being approached and the guy striking up a conversation is not that common. And apparently, I think because what it is women get a lot of online attention. So of course, whether it's the social media, but more importantly, like the dating apps. So yeah, they can get sick of it there. The guys, you have like almost no power in these dating apps because of just the ratio. But then in real life, you actually are at a huge advantage if you apparently decide to like actually go up to people. And so, yeah, like you might be projecting some experience of like, oh, women don't really like people to go up to them. But then, like, one, they just may not have been feeling it or anything. Like, they could be, you don't want to be catcalled. And, like, if you're on the transit with your headphones and that's not really it. But there are times where, yeah, you actually could try to walk up to someone and strike up a casual conversation. And, you don't know. But you have a certain idea that you're trying to, like, frame onto people. And then, like, get mad at every woman in the world because you're assuming that no one wants someone to walk up. But apparently, and I don't know the data, but like you have a pretty good chance if you do want to walk up to people. I guess in a reasonable public setting, but like it works.
Yeah, it depends on how. Years ago there was like this thing on Reddit where like I guess like it was like some guy in New York, and you know it's like hella populated there when you're walking or whatever, and he would always see like this girl, you know like how they would come in, like she'd be coming his way, and like I guess like they would at least like make eye contact with each other or like nod or maybe wave or say hi, and they didn't know each other. So like he asked on Reddit, it's like how do I get this girl to talk to me? I understand that we're both on our way to work, where we don't have that much time, but like I want to get to know this girl more. And so like they suggested like, hey, why don't you like try to get her attention and give her a note that has like your phone number. It's like, hey, would you like to get to know me? And so, and like I think she usually like has her headphones in or whatever. So like he did that. So like when he saw her, he like put up his finger like, hey, like 1 minute, like 1 second. And like she was just like, oh yeah, what's up? Because like they see eye to eye, like they see each other a lot, so it's like she recognizes him, so she felt like a little bit of comfort, like familiarity. And so like he just gave her like a note and just be like, hey, I hope to hear from you soon. And then they just kept going, and she was just so like she just like really appreciated that. Like she was just very like, because it's very romantic. It's really cute. Like who the hell wouldn't want that? I think like romance kind of gets forgotten a lot, like cute little gestures like that. So like she ended up calling him and leaving him a voicemail very soon, saying like, just gushing, because she was like, this was like one of the sweetest things, blah blah blah, this and that. But he projected, I guess I'm sure he probably put her like a bit on a bit of a pedestal because he had a crush on her, and probably just thought like, she probably just gets like gestures and think and like all these sweet things all the time. But like we don't, like, yeah, we get it more than men, but it's not like drastically significantly more. I just think like we still live in like that high school phase where the hottest girl in school, the most popular girl in school, or both, like you just probably just fixated on her because she always had a boyfriend, or, like she probably always get gifts during like, like Valentine's Day or like Secret Santa or like little candy grams or something like that. And you probably just sort of fixated on that and just assume that that's just how it is for every hot girl or every girl that you like. When that's like not really the case. Like I guess like at the end of the day, it's just like, how do you differentiate yourself from other men, and just how do you show that you're interested? Because if I was just like in public transportation or just like a highly populated area, like even if I was like, let's say I was like on the T, which I think is still in Boston, and I have like my headphones and I'm just like, have my headphones, probably reading a book or just looking at my phone. It's not like I don't necessarily want anyone to talk to me. I'm probably just sort of like in my zone. And I personally don't mind getting out of my zone. Like I really don't. I love conversation. And, if you want to just like talk to me, I don't mind talking to you. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of extroverted in that regard. In fact, like one of my all-time favorite things is literally just talking to people, whether it's friends or strangers at a bar. That's one of my favorite things to do. So if I'm like just on, like on the transit, I might just be like, I may appear to be in my own zone, like not really want any attention. But like, if you were to like, if I was like on my phone and you were to like probably like slip a note onto my phone and then just walk off to like, get off at your exit, I'd be like, or, if I ever like at least see you and then you walk off at your, I'd be like, oh my goodness. Okay. If you had like your Instagram handle, I'd be like, oh, who was this? I didn't really get a chance to see him or them or whatever. And then I could like, it's like, this is something new. This is something interesting. It's like, okay, this is the start of my, fairy tale romance. And I think like every woman kind of has that hope, and I think men know this, but they just sort of don't want to, I don't know, like sort of like force that ego sort of thing for women, or like don't want to kind of create that, or they probably don't feel like they themselves can be Prince Charming when you know they most certainly can if they're just like a little bit, you know, like creative. I know, like in the beginning of the movie Hitch, Will Smith says like any man could sweep any woman off her feet. I think so. Like for the relationship to last, I don't know, but I do think, you know, like any man could probably sweep any woman off her feet because it's just like a very intimate, pointed gesture of like, this is for me. You know, it's like he literally wrote me a note, or he wrote something on a business card or something. I don't know. But like he did something for me. It's like he's not going to just handwrite a note to be like, hey, like I think you seem like, I kind of like you. I kind of have like a little crush on you. Especially if he says something cute like, "Oh, you have beautiful eyes," or you have, beautiful hair or something like that. Not be like, "Oh, you have a nice body or a fat ass." Like, don't say something like that. But if it's like, I think you're very beautiful. I'd like to get to know you more. Here's my phone number, or something like that, or like here's my Instagram. Even though I'm not really a fan of that, but like I understand. But like just the gesture is just very sweet because he actually, made himself at least be known. Because I may have noticed him, I may not have. Because like we're all at the end of the day people. Women are people too. I say I'm a whole ass person. It's true. Like
Yes.
we be noticing people, and it's just like, it's like, oh, this guy looks nice. They might like that might be what we're thinking in our head because like we see this guy every day on the transit, or we might just see this guy every day at work. We may not talk to him. We just walk past him, But like to just sort of make yourself kind of, like go from like an NPC, a non-playing character in my life, to like an actual like character I could interact with. It's kind of exciting. It's kind of like, oh, okay, this is new. My life was just going through like this really boring ass loop, and I was just getting sort of stuck. I didn't bother saving because I'm just continuing in this fucking loop. But now, like, it's like, oh, this person talked to me. Like, oh shit, like, where is this gonna go to now? Like, now there's like a whole new path in my boring ass life.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a good reference. I like that.
Yeah, but holistic Hottie says she likes being approached. So I like it too. Like it just depends.
Yes.
On how, don't be like ayo ma, like, or like if you're a Jamaican, be like dreadlocks.
Oh God.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Man.
It's like, hi. It's like, you look like family. It's like, that's not attractive. That doesn't turn me on in the least. But okay, we can play this game if we're related to each other. We most likely are.
Oh God.
That's called incest, sir.
I
Please
know. Jeez, it's a small ass island.
Like, yes, I know who you are. You're my cousin. Like for the 50th time already. Stop.
Oh, can you bring up what Chad said? I had a friend who purposefully got over-ear headphones in a move. So that's a common thing that I see, and that's true. Like some people do that in order to not get bothered. She could just be very introverted, and that's fine. The Alabama
Yes.
But it's also like, I'm sure everybody wants somebody, and like they want like that sort of connection that that community, that sort of, like, have a buddy to like even just like watch TV with. And it may just be once a week. It may just be, it could be every day. It could be every hour. But everybody at least wants somebody, unless you're like very, very much a hermit, which is, fine too. But I'm sure I'm sure it's just because of just the result of a lot of people bothering her in like the worst kind of way that she was just like, what, fuck all of this. And I get that. I'm someone who is looking to date outside of my state because of it's just like, yeah, this is very hard. Like, yeah, the men are gorgeous, but that's about it. It's like, yeah, I need to find like a connection. I need to find some sort of connection. So like I get her, but I'm not trying to totally lock off Florida. Like, I'm sure there's men in my situation who are probably trying to connect with women, and they're just like, what is going on? There's like nothing between the ears, sort of thing. But I get that. I totally get that. I'm sure if somebody approached her in the right way, or maybe I could be totally wrong. I don't know your friend, but I guarantee you, there's probably like a bit of her who's maybe like, she's probably like, she's probably very cynical. Might be like, I have no idea how they could approach me because I'm just, she's probably just middle finger to like everybody that's been approaching. She's like, she's probably just tired of it. And I totally get that. But you never know. There might just be like that fairy book moment where you're just sort of like, ugh. But at the same time, you're kind of like, yay.
There you go.
You're gonna go up to your friends. It's just like, yeah, this guy like gave me a note. Your friends will be like, oh, that's so romantic. And you're like, yeah, I guess. But like in your head, you're like, I know, isn't it? That's so romantic.
Like be like an anime character with the bubble, where they feel one way, but they actually feel a totally opposite of what they're feeling now. Like, yeah, that's going to happen.
In fact, there's something that I was looking for that was based on something that was just said. Oh man, it was another viral TikTok. I'll find it.
No worries. But we got to bring this thing on home. Here we go.
Yeah, exactly. That I could pretty much like sum up this a huge portion of this entire stream. Yeah, nothing more attractive than reading the room. Absolutely. Like, that should be like on a t-shirt. That should be preached. That should be gospel.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you're not reading the room, it's like, you really think I'm really into you if I'm like looking at my phone or just sort of, like, you're not asking me anything about me? Okay, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, all right, let's continue talking about you for 3 hours. It's like, this woman must think I'm so interesting. It's like, do you think I'm interesting? I'm a person. I have interests. I could, yeah.
I got hobbies. I got gifts.
Hobbies,
I got something to add into the pot rather than your boring life because you suck. Oh man.
This video though, the one I sent, I want to see if I could play it, or because actually it turns out you can't play TikToks on the web, even without being logged in. So I don't know. This might be a bit.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
I just need to make. Cause I have too many tabs open, so I need to.
Women live life on easy. Y'all got it easy. Y'all got it so.
Oh wait, no. Oh no, don't.
Hey,
don't. Not yet.
Whoa. Hold on, Phil. Calm down, sir.
I don't think I could date a guy who only has one tab open. That's kind of creepy.
Oh no.
I feel like that's like serial murdery if you just have one tab open. It's like you don't use the internet, do you? Like, it's like, what are you doing? How busy can you be?
Okay.
Let me know if you'll see something.
Hold on.
All right,
I find it funny that men.
All right, hopefully it's loud enough. I don't know if I can get to the full. I don't know. I might not get full screen. So hopefully this is reasonable. Let me know.
Like, get free drinks
All right,
at
hold
the
on.
bar. I find it funny that men get mad that women make money on OnlyFans or like get free drinks at the bar. They're like, oh, women live life on easy mode. Y'all got it easy. Y'all got it so easy. Hey. Who's making it easy? Huh? Who's buying her drinks at the bar? Who's paying for her OnlyFans? Because it ain't your grandma. Ha! I'll tell you that. The call is coming from within the house. Let's take a step back and look within ourselves.
Could you turn it up? If I can really, like, I could, like, on your computer.
Oh, this is the loudest. Even my computer. I'm actually surprised that my computer volume is at 100. Maybe it's just.
I heard her for the most part.
I would have to probably find out maybe YouTube would be louder, but
yeah, like I wish you had like captions.
Oh yeah, I know. I sent the link, so if you want to send that out too on the McCoy if you want to send it out on the thing, I think it's a good watch. Only 30 seconds, but because he's basically just like who do you think is the one who's paying for these OnlyFans and the buying drinks at the bar and all the things that make it seem like life is being lived on easy mode, and that's why she was like, "It's not your grandma. The call is coming from within the house," and it's like, yeah. I was like, that's funny. I can laugh at that because it is like the reason it is men like if. The way the comments were basically saying it was a lot of women who were like, I mean, there might have been some men who were mad, but like a lot of women who were agreeing, who basically were like, yeah, the system was set up to be like this, and we're just taking advantage. Like, why are y'all mad that we're taking advantage of the system that basically is like, that you're putting us through? Like, you might as well get the free whatever because you created this patriarchy or whatever.
That's true.
So that was like a perfect thing with like the projection and the like that's like a perfect because then it's like reverse card, like actually y'all are the ones who are causing this. Like if y'all are so mad, stop. Actually, I have seen some men in like other comments who've been like, yeah, we are mad at those simps, those men who are buying women drinks. Like
that's not a simp. Jeez, what are you using simp for anything? It's like, are you like a girl? You're a simp. It's like you like her. That's fine.
You proposed.
It's like you want to get to know her. You see her as a person. How dare you? Well, it's I don't know. It's weird. They're probably just like busting their balls, which is fine. But I feel like in this day and age, like the internet's so like sensitive in many ways of the word that you know, just like saying like, oh, he's a simp for her. Some men will take that as like fucking gospel and be like, oh, I guess I can't like this girl for her personality, or like, I guess I can't like her. And like we'll probably just take that, and it's sad and it's annoying and it's unfortunate. I presume because that's just what seems like is happening. Like I feel like women are just out here waiting for men to just like see us as just people. It's like, yeah, we have a past, you know, like we probably have, some of us may have had a rough upbringing. Can you just like empathize and understand and be patient? No? Okay. You just want us to be perfect out the box? You don't want us to have anxiety? Like literally one guy I dated was like, he was like annoyed by my anxiety. I was like, wow, okay. I barely admitted that to you, but all right. Like that was a real thing. Yeah, it's like, oh, I guess I can't be a person with normal emotions, and how dare I? But let me empathize with yours, because you're just gonna talk about it all the time because you finally have somebody to talk to about it.
I remember the butterfly meme. It's like a woman, and then the guy is like, "Is this a therapist?"
It's true. It's true.
Whoops.
It's like, yeah, it is fucking true.
Sometimes
like,
that is what happens. It's like a female friend I can confide in, but
that's
oops.
different. Like a
Well,
female, like a friend that you can, because she's still your friend. Like a friend that you can confide in is a friend, and like that's great. But it's like, don't just seek out women for the sake of like dealing with your own childhood traumas and personal traumas. Like we have shit, like we're all fighting our own battles. We have shit going on with our lives too. It's like, all right, if I'm here to help, if you want me to help you, can you at least help me? No. All right.
well, if I tried.
Yeah. It's like they're gonna see a therapist. Please. God.
Mm. Oh, I just thought. So I thought Chad's comment. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That's that resonated. But I missed Misa's comment. Sorry, I was laughing because
I mean, that's how YouTube will make you feel.
a soy boy. Oh
Like,
my
there's
god.
even like women talking about like this low T. I was like, how the fuck can you measure somebody's testosterone by just like talking to them and looking at them? You don't fucking know. And also, why do you care? Like, why do you care about somebody's testosterone levels?
Oh no.
You don't even care about my fiber. There used to be like a commercial years ago about people caring about each other's fiber. It was like a cereal commercial.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Ron, are you talking?
I did it again.
Yeah, I didn't
I did it again. No, I was going to say, like, to L's comment from earlier, I was like, might as well be like pull a Shikamaru. Like, this is such a drag. This whole game thing is a drag.
It really is. Like it's jaded me, especially online dating. But I'm trying to keep higher spirits. I'm in, like a better mood overall, and just trying to understand and empathize a little bit more. It's like, yeah, I've been kind of a righteous asshole sometimes.
Hey, there you go.
So it's like, all right, this guy is at least trying. I should, he can't just come out the gate perfect. But, don't come out the gate out of pocket, though. Like, that's
True.
That's different. But, I can't speak for all women. A lot of us are just really fucking jaded because we get a lot of bullshit. So it's just like, we don't even have time.
He's not lazy. He just buys his time properly, respectfully. He buys his time.
I'm a big Shikamaru fan.
Yeah, but he knows what's up though, because like when his fight against Tamari in like the Chunin exams, he just knew. It's like, yeah, I give up because there's nothing I could do, and it's like, yeah, it's true. There's nothing you can do. Like he played out every single scenario. I was like, yeah, I give up. I can't win this. That's smart. It takes balls.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But again, friends, we have to go.
I was just looking. I was like, we're about to hit our old school records.
Yes, it's 12:01. Like, no, it's 12 o'clock. We got to go to bed. Like, no, I got to go to bed. I know my peoples, they got to go to bed. Like, we got to get ready for work in the next.
I was so tired earlier in the afternoon, and now I have all this energy. I'm just like, this is amazing, actually. Almost went 2.5 hours, and I was like, this conversation is no sign of slowing down.
No, it's slowing down. I'm gonna hit this end button. But before I hit this end button, thank you guys for tuning in with us. We appreciate you guys as always. And then with L, thank you for the hookup on this topic.
Yes.
And helping us navigate help navigate this mess because goodness gracious, the amount of projections that have been brought forth and presented was too much. It was needed. The laughs were great and needed.
Thank you.
Yeah, some folks, they need to hear this, and they probably need to put this thing on repeat over and over and over until it gets embedded to their mental. Hugs right back to you, Mish.
Yes, hugs.
Maybe you need to hear this. Projection. It's all. Oh, wait a second. You just went on mute. Whatever you just said, whatever sassy thing you just said, it's all love though, Ron. It's all love on the show.
I know. When I catch you, Toby, it's over.
Oh man.
Over. Well, yes, we gotta go. We will catch you guys next week, same time, same channel. You never know. We might bring a special guest, a new topic. So, without further ado, we are signing off for the night. Love you. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye.